Hello and welcome back to Factorio. We are continuing to try and get towards making the advanced robot motors, and the next step in that chain is superior data, which looks like, fingers crossed, it should be a fairly straightforward build. However, before we get into that, our research has stalled, and the reason it's stalled is because we have a plastic drought. If I jump into the map mode and we go over to, for example, here, right, we just don't have the brown modules. If we go to, let's think of another build that uses plastic. Okay, we have no rocket control units here, and the reason for that is that the rocket control build has no plastic. And this is all over the map. We are out of plastic. So, it's been on my list of to-dos for a while, a self-contained plastic build. We're going to just tick that off because I went into a creative world and designed something. Right, here we are. Now, I know I try and do everything on stream, but there are some things which just would be shockingly bad YouTube content. And one of those is me with Factory Planner swearing and moving items one tile and then running things for 20 minutes and then, yeah, you get the idea. So you do not want to see that. It's just endless pain. However, what I can do is stamp it down and I can explain to you how this build works. So we will let that build in the background, and if we are lucky, it will work first time and we won't have to babysit it. If we're unlucky, I'll have to pop up there at some point during the episode and start the thing up. Just before we do that, yeah, it's not going to get powered, is it? Because of... Alright, we are going to have to pop up there. Just to get it started, to make sure that it's got power. Because of this grid we're using... because of the grid we're using, the power cables decide to join in stupid ways. There we are. Alright, so that's not connected. That is connected. Good. Yeah, so that will get built. So I'll run back down to where we're doing superior data, because that should be straightforward. Oh, I found out why I was getting screen tearing while recording and fixed it. It's a weird setting it on my graphics card that, yeah, anyway, you don't really need to know it anyway, just that recently there should have been a lot less tearing and shearing. Alright, we need an input here. We're going to need some liquid nitrogen. And for that, we need a liquidizerator. Liquidizerator, that's a thing, isn't it? And we have one here. Okay. Right, so this is almost tile perfect. If I move it down one, it is tile perfect. So this is going to request in nitrogen. That's the liquid nitrogen sorted. Compute data. Now, how much do we need? Compute data comes from... yeah, compute data comes from this process. So let's see how much... We might be able to make it on site with a single machine. I'm not sure if that is sufficient or not. If it is, then life is looking up, isn't it? Let's put that down there. I'm just trying to get everything laid out. Then we can ask for the ratios and yeah. I'm sure one of these will be sufficient. Okay, so that's those two inputs, and then we have fission knowledge, space data, and simulation data. So, I kind of want to put them at the points of the compass, but you can't because there's too few points. Okay, so we need fission knowledge. That's fusion. Fission knowledge. Space data and simulation data. Okay. Okay. So this is starting to look like one of those space exploration things where you need all the things from the previous tier to go into the current tier, but yeah. I'll try and leave those nightmares behind me. I'm just going to do it with inserters because these cards are quite expensive and I don't want to be forcing if you load a machine with a loader, then it tends to fill up a full stack of things in as if you were force filling it with your hand. Whereas if you load things with an inserter, it doesn't force fill it. Alright, so we just need to do the rate here to make sure that it is... Oh, that's insufficient. Okay. I need 2 of these. That's interesting. So I could put one there and one there and move this somewhere. I think I'm not. I think I'm just going to do that. And the compute data has to go down a data conduit, doesn't it? It can't just be piped. There we go. Alright, and then this has just a single slot and it can take speed or efficiency modules. So I'm not going to bother moduling that. Then we are going to... one there. Can I fit one in there? I can. It's not particularly neat. Okay. Okay, and then we'll do this with arms. No. Yeah. Okay, is that everything? I think it is. So we're just missing an output, which we will do with a loader, which is obviously completely overkill given that we're making these things at like 1 a minute. Good. These really low volume things that are like 1 a minute, I should really be shipping those in the logistics network. But I can't be bothered right now. Okay, I will need to look at why these 2 things are not coming in. It's probably the plastic problem. Let's go up and have a look at our plastic. Is it being built? Yes, it's being built. We are missing some modules and some blue belts. Okay, so that's the next thing. This build needed blue belts because, yeah, basically it produces 4K of plastic. So I need to put it on belts, and the belts need to be blue. Okay, so this can be blue belt. Okay, and we're going to cap blue belts at some manageable number because they're quite expensive. They're expensive at the moment. At some point we'll just make a production cell that makes belts. But we're still at the point where belts are an expensive item. So, I think keeping 100 blue belts in stock is absolutely fine. We've got undergrounds, we've got the belts. And then let's just check what the loader recipe is. Okay, so we can do blue loaders without needing lubricant. So that can just come over. Turn my stupid legs off. Yeah, that can come over here. So let's put down another row of assembling machines. Ah, there's a wayward power pole there. Interesting. Right, so I'm hoping these will build. There's a lot of build jobs still happening because I am flooring this module. And I think I might make this module into the biosciences module. That could be fun. Alright, so this is going to make blue loaders. So enable it when the blue loaders are less than 4. I don't think there are any builds in the factory that use where I would need more than 4 blue loaders. Not in the moment. Let's check on here. Things we don't have. Some speed 3s, prod 3s and prod 4s, and then our 2 loaders we need for that building. Okay. And it's again probably a case that things are not getting built because we don't have the plastic. One option would be for me to oh no, it has been built. We're just waiting on the loaders. Oh, that should be really quick. It doesn't need all the modules to run. While we're here, I'm just going to run through how the plastic build functions. So, this module does the petrochem. It imports raw petroleum, crude oil. Then we have a single advanced refinery that sends all of its petroleum upwards into this build. Then we crack the side products down completely. Then this web of processes here turns all the side products into a mixture of light oil and petroleum. So what we do is we make created 100 express transport belts. That's an award. Wonderful. What we do is we send the light oil both to the plastic making and into this area. So this, let's turn the pipes off. This process here turns all of our excess, what's it called? Kerosene. This process turns excess kerosene into light oil. Then we send all the light oil that we can up to make plastic. And then we have an overflow valve here, so that if the light oil starts to back up, we then crack that into petroleum. And then the petroleum gets sent up to plastic. So it's really important, I discovered after a lot of trial and error, to have this overflow valve here. And what this allows the system to do is balance across petroleum and light oil. If you lack this valve, then the system either backs up on petroleum or it backs up on light oil. But by having this here, this process just seems to balance across those two products. I don't know why I'm suddenly unable to move. I'm going to kill my internet browser in case that's the problem. Okay, so we're just waiting on these two loaders. Why are the loaders not being built? Because I really, really, really want that. This is missing on stack inserters. I don't know if we're making stack inserters. Okay. We haven't really needed them in this build. How many stack inserters do you think we should carry? 20 for now? At some point that will become like 200 or 1,000, but 20 sounds good for now. And let's check there's nothing in there we haven't already got. Yeah, we've got everything in there. We've got the motors, we've got the electronic parts. That's all fine. Do we have the electronic parts? That's an interesting one. Yes, we do. There's a truck out now bringing them in. Alright. So I'm going to leave this for now. We will trust to the gods of construction that it will be built. And when it is built, this will happen. Right. Yeah, space data and fission knowledge. We're assuming both of those aren't happening because... Let's have a look at the fission knowledge build. This one is a bit more confusing. Okay, so we have fission knowledge. The fission knowledge is going into the network. Okay, that's why. So I'm going to do... Should I request it in like that? No, I think I should start putting fission knowledge into our network because I think we're making enough of it now. So we will adjust that build. Maintenance through constant renewal is use the totally useless management phrase. So we're going to bodge on a means to get this out into a red. There. All right, how are we going to do this? We will need to... Can we get an underground through here? Indeed we can. Okay. And let's do this with a loader. And a loader. Okay. And then that can come off there. We can delete that. And if I turn off my bots, we can delete that. Then I can put a network limit on this. So we will enable this when the cards are less than 100. Good. Then I think I would like to get to the point where I retire this build from our main factory and move it in here. Okay, we have an issue where there are no chunks. There are no chunks. There is no uranium mining. Whoa, this is quite serious. There's some here, but for some reason this is not. Right. There's a break in the road, I think. Yeah, for some reason there's a break in the road, I believe. Alright, so that could be quite serious. We could actually run out of power, and then we would die, because the bugs would eat our face. So, in between episodes, I'm very definitely going to acquire another uranium. Okay, let's head back down here, because I think... Where is it? The build is over this way. Great, we've created our first stack inserter. That's what we needed for our... What I'm going to do is... put those down, because they can be placed straight away. Those can be placed straight away. I'm sure those can be placed straight away. What's going on? Good. There should be some construction bots coming. Good. And then I can upgrade. I can upgrade those to blue. Okay, so at least now we are producing the plastic. And immediately it's being picked up. So we really were in a plastic drought. Okay, so we have this data. We're just waiting on the space data appearing. All right, we also have magnetic data, which needs neodymium magnets, which is the thing we're trying to make. So I think we're going to do the same thing here. Let's assume we need the same input. Let's assume we also need this. Okay, so all this can go down a tile. All of this can go down a tile. I'm just assuming it's the same amount of compute. So this needs 100 compute in 10 seconds. This needs 100 compute in 10 seconds. Yes, that's the same. Right, and then this part here is magnets. Good. I want to cap this because it's super expensive. I want to cap it to that much. And we can take this straight across. So I think that's our build, which is pretty cool. Right, I have a load of things being killed. Ooh, okay, well that will get repaired. But this is a bit of a wake-up call that our defences here are not sufficient. So, fair enough. Let's have a look at plastic again. How's that going? It has stopped running for some reason. Okay, that is something I'm going to look at between episodes. It'll be a misbalance because the modules aren't all here. So I will look at that between episodes. Where's a plastic build that I can grab the marker from? There we go. Right, that's on the map at least. And now I'm just sort of waiting for things. Alright, so this magnetic data thing, does this have everything it needs? Everything except the computing power. And this has everything except the space data. Okay, now let's go have a look at the rocket launches. They're over here. Oh, there they are. Okay, this is everything except the rocket parts. The rocket parts will be still deadlocked on rocket control units, but there is a truck out for that. So I think we're good to go. I think this is now going to work. Okay, so we can tick some things off our to-do. We have done superior data. We have done the plastic build, because I've ticked that off. Alien plants we're going to do in our new city. And that will do it for now. I'm going to add on there more uranium. Good. Anything else? I feel like we've done what we're going to do today. The next build we are going to do, though, is the one we started doing days ago, which is... Excuse me. Is this one, the advanced robot engine. So we will do that next time. It should be a really quick build. But until then, please like, subscribe, tell your friends. Fingers crossed we'll have our plastic drought fixed before you get back. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.